Trump is right. Trump is 100% right. Okay? 100% right. When it comes to the vaccine, there's 3 types of people. Generalizing. More often than not, there's 3 types of people. There's the anti-vaxxer, right? Who's just like, no, I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it at all. That is deadly. That thing can kill you. Do you not know it causes freaking heart palpitations? They come with all this fucking anecdotal, statistically irrelevant, right, stuff in order to justify them, like, absolutely not. I don't know what's in that. It took forever, you know, they did it over a day or something. Oh, no, right? Those individuals. Then you have the pro-vaxxer, right? Who's like, yes, this is the fucking greatest thing ever. You should get it. You should get it. You should get it. The children should get it. You know what? People are fucking dying by the day. Okay, they're dying by the dozens every day. You know, you shouldn't even be allowed into your own home unless you have a mask. Hell, you should put on 3 masks. You should put on 3 masks. Actually, make it 4 just to be safe, right? You have those people. And then you have the moderate, who's like, I don't have an issue with the vax. I'm just like, I just don't want to take it. Don't want to, right? I don't have an issue. I don't have any concern with it. I've looked at it. It's not dangerous, right? It's not going to kill me. But also, I don't want to take it. I don't want to. Whether it's due to inconvenience, whether it's like I don't want to get shot. I don't want to get an injection. I don't want to do that. Feel like it's a hassle. It's an unnecessary hassle given what's happened, right? Don't want to. There are those people. Now you have to understand, many of the anti-vax group like to pretend that they're those type of people. That's the veneer that they present. Well, I just don't want to. I don't think we should be compelled to do that, right? You'll hear that often. I don't think we should be forced. I don't think we should be forced to do that. I don't think. Right? That's the veneer they give, but deep down inside, they're like, no, I'm not taking this, whatever. And usually what happens, you'll be able to spot or sniff out the anti-vaxxer when they bring up arguments and those arguments are conceded, right? They'll be like, well, how do we know what this is and this and this? You'll be like, well, this is how we know. Well, how do we know this and this and this and this? This is how we know, right? And they'll constantly move the goalpost. For most people, but you have to understand, that's where many people reside, I would say. As far as the third group, they're not anti, they're not pro. I would say they're mostly, don't want to do it. Don't feel like I have to. That's where most people reside. And that's why the mandates in many cases are so powerful. Because, hey, you're not going to take out the trash until it starts to stink. Some people, right? Say, I mean, it's full, but we can compress it down. We can compress it down. It doesn't need to be taken out right now. I mean, it's halfway full. You don't need to take it out right now. They won't do it until they are compelled to, right? Until it becomes a problem. And that's where the mandates are most effective, are the third group of people. Where it's like, oh, now I can't go to the gym unless I get it. Fine, I'll get it. Now I can't do this unless I get it. Fine, I'll get it now. That's why the mandates are effective, okay? My job is now asking for it? Fuck. Or I have to do a freaking COVID test and show them I'm negative? Fine, I'll go and do it. Right? They don't have no issue with it. They're just like, I don't want to. I don't want, why? For what? I'm not going to die. I don't think they're going to die. It's like, people are freaking out over nothing. Very different from the anti and very different from the pro. Want people to understand that. For the most part, the Republican Party, the GOP, their constituents, their base, their core are anti. They're not pro. They're sure as fuck not pro. The majority of the Democrats are pro. Majority of the Republican Party, GOP, whatever, their supporters are anti. The majority. Listen to what I'm saying. The majority. There are some who are like, no, you know, in the third group who are like, I don't really want to. The majority are anti. The reason I have to say this is because we have to set the tone for the video that we're going to see.
Where do you stand on these vaccine mandates? And obviously, I know that you are pro-vaccine. Obviously, you did everything you could to get this vaccine out. I know where you stand on the vaccine.
And that's what Trump says, right? That's what people need to understand. Trump is pro-vaccine, right? This whole concept of, well, he's pro-vaccine, but he doesn't force you to have it. What? What? Does that make any sense to anyone? I want you to think about this. Does that make any sense to anyone? It shouldn't make any sense to the anti-vaxxers. It shouldn't make any sense. And that's where the problem resides, right? The problem resides that the majority of these anti-vaxxers or whatnot reside in the Republican Party. They reside in the GOP. So it doesn't matter if you want to give people a choice. The issue is you shouldn't be pro-vaccine. You shouldn't be promoting the vaccine because it does this and it's harmful and blah, 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 blah. That's what the problem is. So Candace Owens doesn't even understand that the issue is the fact that she even said that he was pro-vaccine is a turnoff to a lot of the base. She doesn't even understand. She thinks she's helping him. Well, I understand you're pro-vaccine. You did a lot for the vaccine. She doesn't know that by framing him as pro-vaccine is a hindrance to his own voter base. Right? She thinks that many people reside in the third category, which is, hey, I'm not really for it, but I don't think I should be compelled to do it, yada, yada, yada. That's not the case. That's not the case. Trump. Well, I think a lot of people have gotten Trump wrong. I got Trump wrong in many respects. When it came to, the national anthem and everything, when it came to whole patriotism, Trump is very much at heart a Democrat. At heart. When you break it down, at heart, he's very much a Democrat. Okay, he's a moderate, we'll say. A moderate Republican or a moderate Democrat, depending. Actually, I would say a moderate Democrat. That's what he is. When it comes to the alphabet. Okay, he doesn't have a problem with allowing trans into the restroom. That was a big thing on the right. Came to gay marriage. That was a big thing on the right. Okay? I want people to understand. When it comes to gun laws, he passed the bump stock ban. He was talking about meaningful background checks. All right? I want people to understand. The more you listen to what he was saying, I was like, that's interesting. That's interesting. When it comes to the minimum wage, he thinks it should be higher. In certain states, it should be higher. That's what he said. And it was during the debate. So I want people to understand. Comes to vaccines, he's pro-vaccine. Listen what he says.
Achievements. We did it in less than 9 months. To be able to do that. Yeah, but now it's taken a twist, right?
Now listen how she's trying to say, this isn't an interview. This is more self-ejaculation. This is self-masturbation. No interviewer says right. You don't ask a question and then say right. That is exposing your bias. Do people get that? Is this not what happened, right? Wait, no, you want to know their beliefs. Your opinions should not impact their statements. And in this case, Trump, it doesn't. Because Trump doesn't give a fuck what Candace Owens says or what she believes. If we're going to be honest, Trump doesn't care. He lives in his own world. He marches to his own drum. He doesn't care how Candace Owens phrases it. What she says, he's going to correct her. Also, I find it interesting that she's cutting off the former president of the United States. We won't say black women, but we'll say women in general. But let's continue.
It's gotten, now we went from this is a good thing and people should have this option to military men, you're going to have to resign because you're not getting this vaccine. Where do you stand on that?
Right? Where do you stand on that? Stupid question. Military get vaccinated before this. From my understanding, they've always gotten vaccinated. You being a part of the military, you are no longer an individual. You are the military. You are property of the United States government. So even that juxtaposition of, hey, you can do this if you want. Listen, you don't get to do anything in the military if you want.
Well, I stand on, forget about the mandates, that people have to have their freedom, but at the same time.
But at the same time, right, he brushes over that. Yeah, saying with, forget about the mandates, people have to have their freedom. But he goes on to say,
the vaccine is one of the greatest achievements of mankind.
It's one of the greatest achievements of mankind. Now, what you have to understand, Candace Owens knows this is death sentence. This is a death sentence. This is no bueno. Sir, your base is very anti-vax. They're not the third group, right? They're not the third group. They're not the second group. They're the first group, anti-vax. This is a no bueno. This is no good, right? Don't say this. And notice she'll very much try to derail the conversation.
We would have had in 1917, remember the Spanish flu, killed perhaps 100 million people. Actually, it ended the First World War because the soldiers were so, a lot of people don't know that. The soldiers got so sick. It was a terrible thing. There were no vaccines. There was no anything. I came up.
So essentially, yeah, I'm all about the mandate. Yeah, forget the mandates. But he knows when it comes to the military, it's not how that works. It's not how that works. He's like, hey, as a matter of fact, you know, it was due to the flu. It was due to this illness that stopped the war. So in fact, he's actually advocating for the vaccine for the military. He's advocating for it right in front of her face. I want you to know where she takes the conversation, because she's panicking right now.
With a vaccine.
Because she expected him to say, absolutely, I think it's horrible, blah, 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 blah. Like I said, Trump is a moderate Democrat. He's a moderate Democrat.
With 3 vaccines, all are very, very good. Came up with 3 of them in less than 9 months. It was supposed to take 5 to 12 years.
That's another thing people often dismiss. You can't be anti-vax and then be pro-Trump. Those two things don't go together.
And
yet
we
more
say,
people have died.
Now, this is her trying to take it off, right? This is her trying to steer. Trump, what are you doing? Give me the wheel.
Under COVID this year, by the way, under Joe Biden,
right,
than under you. And more people took the vaccine this year. So people are.
So listen to that. She tried to say, well, more people died from COVID this year and more people took the vaccine. Now, to an unintelligent person, which is what Candace Owens is, she's not book smart, this probably makes sense to her, right? Not knowing there's certain nuance. What does that mean? Off face value, it means nothing. More people died this year and more people took the vaccine this year than under you. At face value, that statement means nothing. It means nothing. So when I talk about facts and evidence, that's under the context, that's under the umbrella of context. Facts and evidence. That means nothing. Okay, did Trump have to deal with the Delta? Did Trump have to deal with Omni? Did Trump have to deal with the new? How many people, as far as how many of the people that died were from the vaccine? Or were the vast majority of people that died not vaccinated, which is what the data suggests, right? There are tons of questions to ask, right? There are tons of questions that you would have to deep dive because that statement in and of itself means nothing. What that plays to is your bias. If you're anti-vaxxer, you're like, oh yeah, that's right. That's absolutely right. If you're pro-vax, you're like, well, see, that's not true because this isn't this. So she's playing to the audience. That's what she's doing. Because she knows the audience that's going to be watching this is going to be anti. Trump cuts her off.
Questioning how.
Well, no, the vaccine worked, but some people aren't taking it.
Didn't go the way she thought, right? Listen to her.
Here, so people are questioning how.
Well, no, the vaccine worked, but some people aren't taking it.
Look at her eyes. She looks like a child that's being reprimanded, right? She looks like a child being caught red-handed. She looks like a child being caught red-handed, bruh. That's what she looks like. A child being caught red-handed. Because she expects Trump to go, yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely, right? To give doubt to the vaccine. Trump cuts her off like, no, the vaccine worked because you have to understand from Trump's perspective, that's him. So by you criticizing the vaccine, you're criticizing him. It's two narcissists at play. It's really interesting to see this bit of the interview. Really interesting. It's fascinating. It's two narcissists at play because Trump has identified the vaccine as him. It's a part of him. Hey, I did this, okay? You're playing right into their hands by criticizing the vaccine. I did this, okay? I saved these people, okay? What are you talking about? Where Candace is trying to say, well, look, this is dangerous. And, this leads you to believe. No. Don't criticize the vaccine. I came with a vaccine. People are dying. They're dying because they're unvaccinated. Okay? That's what's happening here. And look at Candace. Right? She doesn't, she a deer in headlights. She doesn't understand what you are trying to do is criticize the vaccine, which he associates to him. So you are, whether or not you know it, you're criticizing him. That's not going to happen. And that's where that truth bomb comes in.
Vaccine this year, so people are questioning how.
Well, no, the vaccine worked, but some people aren't taking it. The ones that get very sick and go to the hospital are the ones that don't take the vaccine.
Listen, Trump is right. If you are anti-Trump based off this interview, chances are you're the idiot. Listen, Trump is right. That's exactly what the data suggests. Right? The majority of these cases are from unvaccinated. And people want to say, well, the vaccinated. Okay, given a population or given a certain group gets vaccinated, the more vaccinated they become, obviously, the next variant or whatnot, if people get sick, those are going to be people who are vaccinated. But when it comes to the deaths, the majority of the deaths, 99% or whatever, are from unvaccinated. Trump is correct. Now, you also have to take into account that many people don't like what he's saying. Many people on the right, you have to understand, many people on the right are anti. So they see this as blasphemy. What the heck? What the heck? He's changed. I guarantee you're going to have people like that. He's changed. Something happened to him. I don't know what's going on. Blah, blah, blah. They see this as blasphemy. But Trump is right. If you have a problem with what Trump said, you are the problem.
But it's still their choice. And if you take the vaccine,
and that's where he knows, because he knows that he crossed the line, so he has to backpedal. But still their choice, right? He's trying to have his cake and eat it too. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to have his cake and eat it too on this. And notice Trump does this on certain issues that he's personally has a conviction about, but he knows the base won't like. Very interesting. He's very intelligent. He knows what's up. He'll give his piece, right? It's like someone who smacks you, but then rubs you. It reminds me of, what was it? Sour Patch. The Sour Patch commercials. That's what Trump reminds me of. Like the Sour Patch, right? The Sour Patch will do something bad to you, but then, help you out.
Vaccine, you're protected. Look, the results of the vaccine are very good. And if you do get it, it's a very minor form. People aren't dying when they take the vaccine.
What about the masking of...
People are dying when they take the vaccine. Right? He's 100% correct. He's 100% correct. If you disagree with Trump, chances are you may be the idiot. Trump nips all this in the bud. When he says that, she immediately is like, but Trump, but what about this? Right? Every chance she gets, she's trying to steer him, off course. Trump is going, no, it's not the vaccine. The vaccine is great. Okay. I came up with the vaccine. Okay. It happened under my administration. I did this. You're dying. Most of the time it's usually due to you're unvaccinated. Okay. You take the vaccine, it lessens the severity of the symptoms you get. Okay. People aren't dying from the vaccine. Trump, what about kids? What about kids being masked, Luke? Trump, what about kids being masked? Yes, kids being masked. Surely you don't agree with that, right? Very interesting.
Children. That's a big one for moms right now.
I think it's a terrible thing.
That flies in the face of science. The kids have a virtual 0% chance of dying of COVID. And yet
that flies in the face of science. Kids have a 0% chance of dying of COVID. Now, you know what I say here? Well, what about, isn't this similar to an abortion discussion? Is this similar to an abortion discussion? Where people are like, well, we don't know what it is. Well, right? It's life, but it's human life, but is it really human? Is it conscious? It reminds me of when the argument Steven Crowder made. right? Where if you're driving down a road and you think there's an animal, right? You can't really figure out what it is. What do you side on? You side on the air of caution, right? Tend to side on caution. You stop or you get out of the way. So just in case it is, you don't hit it. Well, here's the thing. If you could save a child's life, no matter how minimal it is, wouldn't you wear a mask? Right? If there's a chance that you could save one child's life, why wouldn't you wear a mask then? I know it's statistically, when you look at the data, it's very rare, but children have perished. It has happened. So, that being the case, if you can save one life, why wouldn't you wear a mask, right? Aren't we pro-life here? So why wouldn't you have the children wear a mask? Okay, to protect that one child or that or two children, however many, that could potentially be at harm and potentially lose their life. That's what I'm just saying. To me, that sounds completely fair. It's like, well, I mean, I guess you're right. I guess you're right. Okay, because there are some, even when it comes to the abortion talk, where even the mother's life being at risk, where it's like, hey, wouldn't a parent give their life for their child? Wait, what? Wouldn't a parent give their life for their child? Okay, that doesn't mean you kill it. You would give your life for your child. Wait, what? There are individuals who are pro-life. That's the stance that they take. So if you're pro-life and wearing a mask, right, can have some impact. It doesn't have to be a gross impact. It doesn't have to be a heavy impact, but some impact, no matter how minute it is. If it can have some impact on possibly saving a child's life, why wouldn't you do it? Are you anti-life now? Are you anti-life? Do not all lives matter now? Because I love how they talk about, well, you know what? There's only been so many deaths, all right? It's like 1% of the population, okay? That's who's dying. Oh, now all of a sudden we don't care? Now all of a sudden we don't care about human life? That's very interesting. Now all of a sudden the conversation shifts. Where all of a sudden the pro-life people are now saying, well, it's, it's only 1% of the population. Who cares? It's elderly. And they're going to die anyway. Oh, really? And that's where the left grabs you by your balls. That's where they have you. They got you. Let's continue.
Yet they're insisting on these vaccine mandates. On these masking mandates, and now even the vaccine mandates for small children. Right. And what's going on there?
What's going on there? Why would he know? He's not the president. Why would he know? He's not the president. But regardless, Trump answers anyway.
I think what's happening is you look at the masks where Fauci and a lot of other people said masks don't mean anything. All of a sudden he becomes a radical masker. Great. I don't like to see the kids with the masks on. They're sitting in school. They have a...
So he gets the W, right? She gets the W. She gets the W that she's been desperately looking for. She gets the W that she's been desperately looking for. But let's continue.
Hard enough time sitting in school.
Looks like China.
It looks like China, right? It looks like China, right? She's trying to embellish, because you have to understand, she's trying to play towards the audience. This isn't an interview. She's trying to play towards the audience. She's trying to use Trump to her benefit. So people can say, hey, that was a great interview. That was a great interview, Candace. She doesn't care about Trump. This is delicious. It's delicious. As I said previously, you have two narcissists going at it. She's trying to use Trump for her benefit and for her movement up in the hierarchy. And Trump is using her to express, I guess, his beliefs. Because he can't, he's using her because, hey, it's an interview. He can't turn down an interview because he believes that they love him. Remember when Trump says, yo, I could shoot someone in broad day, then he's under that impression. In addition to him associating the vaccine. He associates himself with the vaccine. Hey, vaccine, anyone that's been helped from the vaccine, I did that. I did that. So they keep butting heads because she's trying to put up, play up to the audience, who the audience is mostly anti-vax. And he's trying to play to himself because, hey, no, it's good because I did it. I saved these people, not Biden. I saved these people. And Trump actually says he actually finds it difficult to criticize Trump. Trump actually finds it difficult to criticize Biden. He recently said, what was it? Trump, where was it that came out? Yeah, Trump very appreciative of Biden's praise for Operation Warp Speed. Trump, very tough to criticize Biden after he complimented Operation Warp Speed. So you have to understand, you have two narcissists going at it. That's the beauty of this interview. That's the beauty of this interview. And that's what you should take away from it. At least that's what I took away from it. That's the beauty of this interview. Because you have to understand, Trump is not anti-Biden. Trump likes praise. He's a narcissist. So when you attack him, then you're his enemy. And here's the thing. We've already known this. We've known this. It's like Trump's not really thinking about Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-un's, complimented him. So he's like, oh, yeah, Kim Jong-un's a cool guy. Right? But you also have to understand, Trump is not stupid. He's not stupid. Okay? Now, when she brings up China, she's really trying to drive it home. It's like China. I've been to China. It's like China. Let's play it back.
The kids with the masks on, they're sitting in.
She gets her W and she tries to take more. She's greedy, right? She's greedy. She gets her win. She just can't take the win, but she tries to get more. And that's where it backfires.
School, they have a hard enough time sitting in school.
Looks like China. I've been to China.
Looks like China. I've been to China. Right? She talks like, I don't know, like a 3-year-old who suffers from Downs. Okay? Looks like China. I've been to China. Very good, Candace. Very good. And can you tell me, what does the cow say? Now, Trump is like...
Well, and yet China's education system's a hell of a lot better than ours. You know what?
This is classic Trump. I like this Trump. I like this. This is gold. Okay? And yet China's education system is a hell of a lot better than ours. Like I said, Trump is a moderate Democrat. He's a moderate Democrat. I guarantee you could get Trump to say, free college tuition. Or he wouldn't say free college tuition because he knows that Republicans, the boomer population doesn't like the word free. So he'll say, hey, we're going to do a tax credit or something. He'll use a different word, right? He'll use a different word, not to trigger, the right. But this is why I'm like, yo, where's the lie? You have people on the right getting triggered by this interview. It's amazing. It's creating a divide. People are like, oh, Trump has lost it. Trump has lost it. And people are like, no, well, what he said was it was accurate. He's telling the truth. No, I mean, this is good Trump. This is good Trump.
They're rated number 2 or 3, and we're rated number 44.
Look at Candace's face. Bitch, what? Look at her face. Look. Bruh, can someone screenshot this and make it an emoji for the Discord? Can we make it an emoji for the Discord? This is freaking gold. She got the Dr. Umar face on. She got the Dr. Umar face, bruh. What? What did you just say? Oh, let's continue.
But masking children, I mean,
No, it's bad.
Right, and she goes back. She tried. Trump, get back on course. We're going to go off a cliff. Trump, give me the wheel. Give me the wheel. The masking children. Trump, back to the masking children. Back to the masking children. It's freaking gold, man. Yeah, but the masking children, that's not good, right? The masking children, not good. Yeah, absolutely. Not good, not good.
The way it looks, right?
The way it looks, right? She's beginning to realize, I am way out of my depth here. Because like I said, Candace is not book smart, she's street smart. Like if you ask her, press her on certain issues, she'll just give you talking points. Because when it comes to the right, just like the left, this soft bigotry of low expectation is promoted. It's promoted just as it is on the left, but a different way. Anyways, let's continue.
Doesn't look like a free country.
I'm against it.
This interview is great stuff. Because I think what it honestly did, I think it harmed his chances of running in 2024. Because he gave a lot of praise to the vaccine. And why would you? He believes that he's responsible for it and it saved lives. Of course he's going to give praise to it. I think this is really interesting. It's really great stuff. Really great stuff. Because I think it harmed him, unfortunately. And it created a bigger divide among Republicans. Among the right, we'll say. I think the left is actually, they're praising this on two fronts. It's like, yo, not only did you say stuff that we agree with on behalf of the vaccine, but it's also detrimental to your campaign. So I'm sure Democrats are probably praising this. They're like, oh, this is the greatest interview ever. Not only did you make her look like a fool, you're a pro-vax, and then also divided your base. What more could we ask for? So I think it's pretty it's pretty interesting, and it's pretty telling to see who on the right actually disagrees. It's very interesting. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Trump is right. Listen, Trump is right. Trump is 100% right. Okay, 100% right.